Hey guys, welcome to Herding Little Cows to the Glory of God. This is the food wrap up. So what we did was we took $100, we bought food for our family for 4 days, and I'm going to show you first what is left from the food challenge, the food that we did not use, and then my husband's going to go put it away because some of it is still cold. So we have 3 bananas that were not used, and I'm sure the kids are going to enjoy those. It's funny, with only having this much food available.
Hello. Okay.
With only having this much food available for these 4 days, it's still funny that we missed things, that we didn't finish things. Some of it was like an ingredient, so it wasn't finished. But like bananas, I easily could have handed out, and I just forgot about them because everyone felt well fed. Okay, chopped spinach. I bought 2 bags of this, and I was gonna put one in the Italian soup, and I forgot until after we were halfway through eating it. I was like, oh, I was gonna put that in. So we never used this bag. Peanut butter, we still have, I'll show you, probably a quarter left of the peanut butter. So that adds, we'll talk about it later, but adds extra calories and fat if you wanted it. Oatmeal, we still have a third of it left, probably even closer to a half.
Maybe more, yeah.
There's quite a bit of oatmeal. Hi. Okay, another mistake from me. Peppers. I bought peppers to put in the Italian soup. The Italian soup still turned out really good, but I forgot to put the peppers in. So these 2 peppers are actually going to be used today for a different thing because I'm going to add them to chili, but I had forgotten about those. The spinach will go in the chili too. Out of the 32-ounce block, maybe 3 ounces of cheese left. A half a loaf of bread. Maybe a half cup of brown sugar left.
I think we measured it, it was about a half cup.
Yeah, it was about a half cup when we measured it. And this is the rest of the syrup. So on the first day, I think I did a cup and a half of brown sugar to a cup and a half of water, made a simple syrup and added some butter. That's what's the greasy stuff in here. And we used that for syrup for 2 breakfasts. And this is still what's left. So you could easily use that for a dessert or sweetener of some kind. You need some water? Go in and get some. I ended up only using 1 of the packages of yeast. I bought a 3-pack, like 2 3-packs, and I only used 1. So this can be used another time in our baking. I bought baking powder, and we used maybe a quarter of it. Flour, we have about a half a cup left. Really not much flour, which is okay because I purchased it thinking we would use it. So
We figured out we used like 149 out of
151 servings. Milk, this is what's left, but we did use a tiny bit this morning for our milk. For our coffee. I did not put coffee on the challenge because if you had this as your amount of money, there is definitely more money you should have allotted in your budget. Also, coffee is something that a lot of people get, like at work, there's coffee available for free in a lot of places, or you do coffee in a different way that you're not counting it in your food budget. But anyway, there was a little bit more than this, but I think we had about 2 cups left. Garlic powder, I only used some. And chocolate chips, we didn't use very many at all. Maybe 4 or 5 servings out of the whole bag. So anyway, that's all gonna go back in the house because it's a little too warm out here for all the cold stuff. Oh, Sam is gonna go do it. Okay, make sure the cold stuff goes back in the things. Freezer for the spinach, that should be all. Okay, so what we did. Let me explain why we did the whole challenge and everything. Wanted to get the food stuff out of the way. So I was looking the other day at the Thrifty plan for what the USDA says that a family should eat for over the course of a week and a month and all those things. I saw that it said for my husband, just his age bracket. It doesn't have to do with how physical you are or anything like that. But for the age bracket, they were saying $304 to feed a man for a month. And I thought we could do it for less. So what we did was we took 4 days and we ate all the meals and snacks for those 4 days on that $100. I occasionally had something a little different. I explained in a couple of the videos, I have gestational diabetes, so there were times that they ate a carby breakfast, like French toast, which still has a good amount of protein, but it was still too many carbs for me. But every meal fed at least 8 people, sometimes 9, sometimes 10, because Grandma was in the video with us. But what we did was we, last night, went through all the food that was left over, decided how many servings were not used, and we calculated the amount of food we ate during the course of the week into calories, carbs, fat, and protein. Do I need to talk louder? Okay, no, okay. Well, it's a little windy out here, so I want to make sure you hear. So anyway, we wrote all those numbers down, and then this morning my kids did math. My big kids were just practicing math. Oh, sorry, right in there? Okay. So they would take sausage was a total of 10 carbs per all the sausage we ate over the week. And so then we added up all those numbers and came up with our final numbers. So if you were a male between the ages of 20 and 50, that's what the ratio was for the USDA, like the age limit for the USDA. You would have eaten in this challenge 1,924 carbs a day, which most people say about 2,000, like average. Depends on how active you are. It depends if you're trying to gain weight, lose weight, build muscle, all of those things. But this would be a diet that could sustain you for a 30-day period with good amounts of carbs, protein, and all of that. So we figured it out that it was 1,900 carbs a day. Of course, in our family, calories, 1,900 calories a day. Of course, in our family, we have different ages of people. So my husband, who is bigger than the average man, ate more than the 2-year-old, but the 2-year-old still got enough food and was satisfied. So we spread it out over people, but you'll see as we go to other things that like protein, my husband needed more protein than the kids did, and he got that in this budget. So anyway, this food plan covered all of our breakfast, lunch, supper, and a snack every day for each person in the family, and a dessert the last night. And we still had all of that food left over. So I didn't even figure out if you had eaten all the food that we bought in the week, how much it would have covered. But looking at the macros, the carbs, protein, and fat, we were actually very close for carbs and fat for just a standard macro breakup of a diet. Everyone got, or the man who, so we took all the numbers and we divided by 30 because we were going for one man for a month. That man would have gotten 245 grams of carbs a day, would have gotten 72 grams of fat in a day, and would have gotten 73 grams of grams of protein in a day. Like I was saying, our little people ate less. So the youngest of our little people, the 2 youngest, only really need 20 grams of protein a day. So when we made our food, like the little guy would only eat an egg and a half at breakfast, where daddy would eat 3 eggs, if that makes sense. Or cheese on a sandwich would be more for daddy than would be for the little ones. So you could get more protein. Like in this challenge we did, Mark was getting more protein. If you look at this 30 number, dividing it into 30 days, some of the stuff that we did not finish still had protein in it. So there was still a little milk left. There was still some cheese left. Even oats have protein in them. There still was peanut butter. So all of those things.
So you're not staring at the sun.
I'm like,
sorry.
Sun is right there.
Sorry.
Okay. Camera angle shift. And I'm trying not to kick the table it's on too much, but did it all get put away, Samuel? So there was still, out of what was left, there was more protein available for every day of this challenge. But it's definitely a sustainable diet that will get you the energy that you need to get through a day. And we were doing it on a budget. So if you're somebody who really can budget $200 a month instead of the $100 a month, you can buy more of those foods. We were just trying to show that it was possible to sustain.
I think even if you just finished the peanut butter, it would probably add calories, protein, fat.
Yes.
To that. So if you needed to round it up, we did still have money left from what we bought.
Yeah.
That would help.
Oh yeah. And
we
so
had cheese, we had
so of those things that we had, like there was probably, I don't know, $6 or so of stuff that I wouldn't have had to, like, because I didn't use the peppers, because I didn't use the spinach, those types of things. Like, there was money that could have been spent on something else had I known I was going to forget to use those. And like the peppers and the spinach don't add a lot of protein and fat and carbs to your meal. It adds a lot of good vitamins. So those good vitamins are necessary. But because of how we bought things, I could have taken out those dollars and used those for something else since I forgot the food. The bananas. Yeah, take out all that stuff. So yes, you were talking about the protein. The amount of peanut butter that we used was 182-ish grams of protein. And we still had about another quarter there. So you still have another 50 grams of protein right there in the peanut butter. Or more. What?
His entry strategy.
Oh, gotcha. Okay. So anyway, more about the challenge. So we ate I'm giving you a list of the food we ate. I gotta turn it over. Okay, so over the course of the time, we ate, just in case you weren't watching our videos, we had a morning which was a Dutch baby. So if you don't know what a Dutch baby is, it's also called a German pancake or a puffy pancake, and you cook it in the oven. But it actually has quite a bit of protein per flour. So you feel like you're eating something that's a really carb-rich breakfast, but it actually has a lot of protein in it. So for every 2 eggs, you put in a half a cup of milk and a half a cup of flour.
And fats too.
So yeah, so it's got fats, it's got good stuff in it. So one of the mornings was Dutch baby. One of the mornings was French toast casserole. The kids like that. Why I did it as a casserole is just in a family our size, flipping pieces of French toast takes a long time. So we cut it up. One morning we had strawberry oatmeal. You would have seen that. And one morning we had eggs with a little bit of sausage and onion and potatoes. So those were our 4 breakfasts. Our 4 lunches. 4 lunches. Every day we had a choice of grilled cheese sandwich, egg sandwich, or peanut butter sandwich. I explained that my little kids who wanted the peanut butter don't like jelly, so they didn't mind that there was no jelly on there. And also we had carrot sticks, cut up cabbage, which my kids just like to eat raw. That was all available every day. And most of the kids ate a sandwich of their choosing, and then they also had another half sandwich with peanut butter on it. So all of these meals, I can't think of any meal that people just had 1 serving. The kids were all allowed to go back and have more. Sometimes they would have thirds or maybe even fourths of these things. So no one was feeling deprived at the end of these meals. For the suppers, we had homemade chicken noodle soup with homemade noodles.
The background scene, sorry.
What?
They're all raking and stacking and swinging and having heard all that.
We made chicken soup with homemade noodles last night. We had a chicken rice soup on another day. We had an Italian soup. And I think that day we also had garlic toast that went with the Italian soup. The Italian soup was the one I forgot to put the extra vegetables in. It had lots of vegetables. I just forgot the extra vegetables. And one day we had mashed potatoes with gravy that had chicken and vegetables in it. And then for snacks, we had chocolate chip muffins one day. We had apples with peanut butter one day. We also had, the chocolate chip muffins were like a banana muffin with chocolate chips. We also had another day banana muffins with strawberries in them. And we had another snack on another day, but I don't remember what that snack was. I know we ate snack every day. So, what was the other snack we had?
What did you already say?
The banana chocolate chip ones and the banana strawberry ones. And apples. Oh, yes, we made pancakes. I forgot about those. We made pancakes that we actually made in the oven. And we've made a topping of peanut butter and brown sugar that we spread over the pancakes before we cooked it and then like swirled it in, and then the kids ate that. So those were all of our meals. Plus, last night was the last night of the challenge. So we had a dessert where I cut up the rest of the apples and we added brown sugar, butter, and oats as a topping for it. So it was like an apple crisp, and everyone said that was good. So that was all of our meals. What else do we have to say about the challenge? Everybody felt satisfied. Everyone felt good. If you have questions about the challenge, feel free to ask me. We just like to do these budget challenges for short periods of time for our family. Hey, where's your helmet? He usually has a helmet on, but he's little and he sometimes forgets. So we have, we like to do these budget challenges for short periods of time as a family to show you guys what we can do. Because this isn't how we normally shop, these budget challenges are hard for us because I have food still in the fridge that needs to get eaten at other times. Because I typically shop where I do keep my pantry full, and then I make things based on what's in the pantry. So I don't know that I'm going to be doing any of those videos soon because I am 37 weeks plus a day pregnant. And so I don't want to get too involved in making meals for the future. Because I already have a meal, like a freezer stocked with freezer meals for after baby. And so I don't want to end up with a lot of fresh ingredients that are going to be hard to use at that time. But we do like these if you have more questions about it. But the real reason we wanted to do it is just God has given each of us different resources. And so for our family, our resources mean that we get to live on property with my mom, who we pay rent to, but it helps us to be able to save money in certain areas because we're renting from my mother. And so we don't have to pay extra for like lawn care and stuff like that. We mow our own lawn. Other people have other resources where maybe they have food more available to them because they work somewhere where they can take home cast-offs or whatever. And they need to pay more for rent. So each family's different. So looking at the resources that God has given you and doing the best you can with those resources. And I find that when we do these things and we make it like a challenge to ourselves of can we do this with limited resources, it makes us more grateful for what we can have. Like a lot of times we have stuff just in our pantry and we can just decide, hey, we want to make homemade pizzas tonight because I have the flour, I have the stuff, and we can do that because that's how I shop. Where doing these budget challenges, we see how other families might have to live where they're living paycheck to paycheck to have to go to the store and buy what's for this week. And it makes it difficult to purchase things in bulk, which makes shopping more expensive. So anyway, it's just a way to challenge ourselves to be more thankful and grateful for the things God has given us.
If you want to be on the shot, you gotta move over.
You gotta come over here. And to just realize that a lot of the things that we take for granted of being able to eat different meals every day or to be able to have such variation, like there are people in other countries that rice is served with every meal every day. And my kids have never had rice for probably more than 2 meals in a row. And I'm not saying it's bad for people to have rice.
Sometimes they would like to.
Yes, my kids do like rice. I'm not saying it's bad that those people eat rice every day because there are healthy people that live in other countries. But I think we forget the abundance that we have here in America when we get to make these choices of how we're going to spend our food budget when our food budgets are really a lot bigger than most people have in the world. And the convenience of being able to go to a store and buy the food that you choose to have. So if you are struggling with food insecurity and those types of things, there are different programs around, food pantries that are like, we have one in our local area that a lot of different churches donate to. It's called Area Interfaith Outreach. And so there's a lot of different people that donate to that. There's different programs available in different ways. So if you really need food, I'm not saying that you need to cut your budget so much that you can't eat. I'm just trying to give ways of things that might be available to you and choices you might not be thinking of. So like the chicken that we made, I used the entire bag. We have loud trucks going by. I used the entire bag of chicken by cooking it up, pulling the meat off the bones, and then we used the bones as soup broth. So our soup, even if I hadn't added chicken to it, would have still had protein in it because it was cooked on those chicken bones. That is a way to stretch your food budget, is forget to put your chicken in your chicken soup, and then you have chicken for other times. It's not a purposeful thing I've done. I've just done it many times. But making sure that you use all of it. So like if you saw at the start of the week, I cut the vegetables on the first day. I cut off all the skins and all the ends, and I put those in my chicken broth because that was still adding nutrition and flavor to that chicken broth, but wasn't using good edible food that my kids would have eaten. They won't eat the green ends off the carrot, which is fine, but I was able to get the nutrition out of that by putting it in the chicken broth. So those are just some tips. If you have questions about food things, please leave them in the comments below. I'll either add another video to answer those questions, or I'll just add in the comments depending how much of structure that video needs. And if this helped you to just be more thankful for the resources you have, what God has given you, share, subscribe, like, all those things that you do on YouTube. Mark's my YouTube guy, so he knows all those things that we're supposed to do. But do those things if you found this video helpful, because we'd like other people to be able to just use the information that we give. That's why we make these videos. We don't want to charge people for the things that we're doing. We just have learned a lot over our years of the amount that God has provided for us to grow our family on. It's always been plenty, but sometimes we have to be a little creative on how we use that money. I know there's other families that don't have to use like creative means to be able to feed their families. Our family has always had plenty, but God sometimes provides in odd ways. If you want to go back and look at some of our videos, God has provided for us in corn dogs. He's provided for us in Scrapple. He's provided for us when we didn't know if we were able to fill the gas tank or the like go grocery shopping, and then both of those were provided within 24 hours. So God is good, and even if you don't necessarily see where that next meal is coming from, God is working together for the good of those who love him. So I hope that was encouragement today. We'll see you guys next time on Herding Little Cows to the Glory of God.